As always, donate to Jumpstart. Jumpstart helps economically disadvantaged kids play team sports, which is something that's near and dear to Rachel and I's hearts. So if you go to the links in this description below, pretty much all the information that you will need to donate is there. So we really encourage you, if you can, to do so. Again, it's a great cause. We love Jumpstart. They are our charity of choice. If you can, please donate. All right, here we are. We're back. Lots has happened since, namely hockey.
The season has ended? Like, it's legit. I don't know. Do you feel like the season went by so fast, but at the same time, it feels like everything happened?
Yeah, I feel like this season has been going on forever. And that just might be the product of watching a Craig Berube coached hockey team. Just with like the way that they play. But yeah, like this season has gone on for a long time. It's felt like.
Are you on side with Craig Berube style hockey if it means conference final?
Absolutely. I'm on side with Craig Berube style hockey now, mainly because it's not Sheldon Keefe hockey right now. Like I was sick and tired of Sheldon Keefe hockey by the end of it, which I never thought I would say. Because I was a Keefe OG, man. I covered, obviously, like you worked with him, and I covered him, in my first professional. Yeah, but it just, by the end of it, it just clearly was not working. But I digress. Rachel, This is the end of the season, the regular season. The real stuff, the teams that aren't total absolute losers, they get to keep playing. And the teams that are, I just want everyone else to know that if you're a fan of a team that doesn't get to keep playing, you too are also a total absolute loser. So just want to make that abundantly clear to everybody as well. What we're going to do is, with the end of the season, like no one's really clinched yet. Like people have clinched, but we haven't. The last couple have not quite come through. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some awards. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I feel like the awards are pretty, they're pretty settled, at least for, in my opinion. I found out, here's a fun thing. I found out I don't actually get to vote on awards this year. After being told I wasn't allowed to bet on them because I would be voting on them. So I was like, all right, well, don't tell me I can't bet on them if I'm not voting on them.
Well, I can understand. I mean, I guess because you're not you don't work full time. Neither of us work full time in hockey anymore, and that is reserved for, voters and whatnot. But
right, but then don't tell me that I'm voting and can't bet on it when I'm not. You know what I mean? Be upfront about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so season wrap up. Some things happened. And maybe we'll start with what happened earlier this week. Logan Couture retired unofficially, he's still going to get paid the rest of his contract. But Logan Couture retired, and
where'd you hear that?
I feel, yeah.
Did you hear that from Logan Couture?
No.
No, you heard it from the president of the PHWA.
Listen, yeah, ironically.
I don't you know what? And I know we're not supposed to swear on the podcast anymore, but f*** it. Connor, you can beep that if you want. Frank Saravalli is not a good person. And I cannot believe that this is the guy that is the head of the union that was representing us. Sorry to come out guns blazing here, but I
was
feel
going to
like
say, this is Mike's opinion. I will reserve
feel like
mine.
I have to. I feel like I have to here. I don't want to say he's not a good person. Let me walk that back, because I'm sure he's fine. But this is not someone that I want representing me.
I've never had a problem with Frank personally, ever.
I have.
Okay,
and
we know this.
This is yet. Here's what I don't like in hockey media, and we've seen this and this is relatively, sort of on the tip of people's tongues now, because of what happened with the Raptors. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Nope.
In recent days with the hot mic, in that I don't like when people sort of project a version of themselves that they're a pro, a pro's pro. You know,
Oh.
they do everything right. They are the pros pro. And yet their actions, you know, potential like are self-serving and don't back it up. Logan Couture wanted to retire, like retired.
And it's not like he was choosing to retire.
No. It's a medical retirement. He has a degenerative ailment with his groin.
Price.
Yes. And it allows him to not play anymore. And listen, I have issues with Logan Couture. You know, as you know, like some of his beliefs, they obviously don't align with mine. But I still think that this is a guy who was a captain of a hockey team, came very, very close to winning the Stanley Cup. He put in countless years, and it was his right to go out and announce this. The only reason they announced they were having this, the Sharks themselves didn't come out and announce they were having this press conference. They announced it to the media so they could give them a heads up. Because if you because media have to show up to the place where they're there. But exactly. And instead of just like, it's so like just reading the room and going like everyone knew this is what was going to happen. It's not like everyone, like Logan Couture hasn't played all year. He barely played last year. Everyone knew that this was going to be the thing. And it's just like, all right, now he gets to at least go out. Like, he's not going out on his own terms because it's his health that's forcing him to retire. But at least he can announce it on his own terms. But no, old Frankie S had to come in there with the scoop to end all scoops.
So here's where I stand on it. And this is across sports because I understand insider. Woj, Shams, Schefter, Rappaport, Fabrizio Romano in soccer. I get the insider game. Here's kind of where I stand on it. You're breaking a trade. You're breaking an acquisition. You're breaking a piece of like news. that kind of thing. Or you're breaking like injury related. Oh, this so and so is going to be out for X amount of weeks. I get that. That's part of your job. We're talking about a very sensitive subject. So to me, certain things that are off limits. You should not be breaking that anybody is entering the player assistance program. Mm-hmm. That should come from a team press release. You should not be breaking that anyone is retiring unless that player has explicitly given you like Patrick Maroon explicitly said on TNT in an interview, I am retiring. He got to go out on his own terms. When it comes to retirements of any sort, it should be up to the player. This is not a scoop. This is a player's personal life, their personal decision, and in this specific case, struggling with it. I think that there are some things, put it this way, if you can report that Logan Couture is retiring, all of you could have reported on what was going on with the Blackhawks. Because and everything else. There is a bunch of stuff that goes on because I've spoken to people about it. And I'm not at liberty to say it publicly because I don't want to get sued because I'm not protected the same way that insiders are in terms of access. There are things that insiders know that they deliberately do not share. And I guess my point is if you're willing to share something that's so sensitive about somebody else's life, like Logan Couture retiring for medical reasons, then you need to walk that same, or you need to talk the same talk and walk the same walk with serious violations within the hockey world. Otherwise, just break trades and signings and injury news, but leave the player assistance program and leave retirements, leave any personal things out of your purview. Because at the end of the day, you're reporting on hockey. You are not reporting on a player's life. And then it, like the airport thing with Ivan Demidov, I get because fans are excited.
It's a fan site too. Like who cares?
Yeah, fans are excited to go to the airport to meet this guy. I see it in soccer all the time. I understand. But like when you start breaking news about players' wives and girlfriends and things like that, like even I'll be honest with you, like when players are criminally involved in something, like when Milan Lucic got charged, that's not something an insider should be breaking. That belongs in a press release from the hockey team or in a press release from the police station.
Mm-hmm. Or like the crime reporter. Like that's
that's exactly what I'm saying.
And what pisses me off the most about this, like I never thought I'd be, like coming so staunchly to Logan Couture's defense on anything, but here we go. Like what pisses me off the most about this is again what I go back to, where someone who flouts themselves as being the epitome of professionalism and then goes and does that. He walked it back right after too, saying, "Oh, it might be premature." Oh, which is, it's all self-serving. Like he didn't have to say it. I'm sure anyone, like any of the other insiders, knew this, but they chose not to do it. But Frank had to get those clicks, and this is not just any insider. This is not just any reporter. This is not sicko hockey or whatever it was that showed up at the airport for Ivan Demidov. What isn't it like the Sick podcast or something? Like
yes.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like
I just love the way you said it. You're killing me right now.
It's like sicko hockey. Like, and that I love that.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to be. You're
I'm
a
so
fan.
on board with it.
This is the president of the Professional Hockey Writers Association.
Who is lecturing people on professionalism, by the way. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I've gotten some lectures from Frank Saravalli about professionalism, okay? I've also gotten assurances that he'll work in my favor when it came to my livelihood, and then never heard from him again. So, like, what pisses me off about this is Mr. Pro's Pro decided to, for no reason, blow up someone's retirement announcement. That should have been Logan Couture's avenue to announce on his own terms, in his own way, I'm physically unable to play hockey anymore. I have to give up like the dream that I've spent literally my entire life working towards in order to because like the game has taken everything from me. And these are my next steps, and it's supposed to be emotional, and instead, nope, Frank had to get a couple retweets.
And to be honest, listen, Frank can report the way anyone can report the way they want to report, but in my personal opinion, and I think you and we share the same opinion here, is there are certain things that players should be allowed to announce.
Yes, and health-related retirement is one of them.
If you can if you can keep quiet on who the 5 Hockey Canada members were for as long as you did, you could keep quiet for 48 hours about Logan Couture retiring. We all knew who they were.
Exactly. But it's just Mr. Pro's Pro who like has how many Frank, like, dude, and again, I don't like, I can't remember the exact context, so I don't want to so I want to preface that, but like Frank Saravalli told someone to drink a glass of bleach on Twitter. Like, that's the president of the... Like, I can tell someone that someone can say, "Hey, you suck, man," or like, "Hey, like you're pathetic," and I can reply.
We have thoughts about our previous employer, and yet none of them have ended up on Twitter.
Exactly, but also it's also like
on this podcast.
Someone can say like, "Hey, you suck, man," like you're pathetic, and I can be like, "Well, your mom doesn't think I suck." Like, I can respond to that because I'm not in like media anymore, and I'm not the president of the Professional Hockey Writers Association. You're supposed to be the face, the person, like the leader at the front. And like, listen, there have been a lot of different stories like of past, like for example, Mark Spector used to do this, and I believe it's out there that he once told a very reputable writer who was getting flack from players for writing some criticisms about them, that he would take him out, like if it was up to him, he'd take him out into a back alley and beat the crap out of him. Like that's where hockey media is at right now. But for this is just another thing. Like, this has happened many times this year, and this is just yet another example of like, I don't even want to call it hypocrisy. It's just unprofessional for someone who flouts themselves that way. And
yeah, like people dumped on Jeff Merrick and like speculated about him, and it was about like NHL draft picks. Like,
yeah,
I mean, put it this way. It's a lot more sensitive to be tweeting out somebody's retiring for medical reasons than it is to be telling your buddy who's getting taken in the draft. I'm just flat out am gonna say it.
But we digress.
Anyways, let's talk about other things. So I have a list here of things that happened this season that you may have forgotten or not known about.
I love that. Let's go. Let's collectively realize how goddamn long this season has been.
Okay, and I want you, because Mike is the movie buff on this podcast, I want you to compare each of these things to, like, a movie thing.
Okay, I'll do my best. Let's give it a shot.
Alex Ovechkin breaking the goal record. is Avengers Endgame.
It is Avengers Endgame. I would say it is Leonardo DiCaprio finally getting his Oscar.
Love it. Oh, that's awesome.
It is, like the golden boy,
Yep.
the person who people were shocked that, hadn't to that point gotten it, finally, like, taking that step, finally getting, like, the recognition that he deserves.
Canada winning 4 nations against the backdrop of gestures widely.
Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Oh my god. Okay, I love that. Utah Hockey Club's inaugural season and the end of the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh boy. That is...
Also, can we just take a second? What an incredible first season for the Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
Really well done, Ryan Smith and company. Like,
my favorite part of Utah's first season was?
Not dealing with Alex Morello?
Every time that they weren't the Arizona Coyotes. Every time they stepped onto the ice and they weren't the Arizona Coyotes. That would be... This is not movie, but it's like pop culture, so I can relate. That would be Olivia Rodrigo when she got dumped by she got dumped by or had to break up with her boyfriend and use that as inspiration to become one of the biggest pop stars in the world.
You know what's funny is I was going to go the same direction with my comp.
What's your comp? Is that Taylor Swift?
Tate McRae dumping
yes.
Cole Sillinger and
there you go.
immediately blowing up.
There you go. That's even better. Even better.
All right. Connor McDavid hitting 1,000 points at the age of 27.
That is Jennifer Lawrence winning 2 Oscars before the age of 26, I believe, or 25.
Love it. Sam Rosen, legendary New York Rangers broadcasters, retirement tour.
That is...
Followed by Marc-Andre Fleury's retirement tour.
That is Quentin Tarantino saying he's going to stop making movies after his 10th movie. Because that's what he said. And so I can only hope that it is, as spectacular as Sam Rosen's last lap.
Mikko Rantanen traded twice in the same deadline.
Oh my God.
That's like sharing. That's like hot potato.
It's like hot potato. I'm trying to think of
potato.
Anything that can compete.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Like,
I don't even know if there's a comp for that. Like, that's just so weird. Like, that was like...
No, that's what I'm saying. It's literally hot potato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Pete Davidson breaking up with one hot chick to date another hot chick and then immediately breaking up with them. Like, it's just like hopping from one team to another.
Wild. The best rookie race in recent memory. Hudson, Celebrini, Michkov, Dustin Wolf. Like, probably the best rookie class we've had in a really long time because you can add, like, Cutter Gauthier in there, Will Smith. There were quite a few legit rookies this year.
It reminds me of a time in the 70s. Obviously, we weren't born yet, but there was a time in the 70s where, like, a young Nicholson, De Niro, Pacino, and I think, like, Christopher Walken or someone were all nominated for Best Actor at the same time.
That's what it reminds me of. Great comp. Sidney Crosby breaks Wayne Gretzky's points per game record for most points per game seasons at 20.
That is Meryl Streep getting her like 28th Oscar nomination. I believe she has like 28 of them.
She is so. Do you remember when they tried to play her off stage and then one guy was like, no.
Meryl Streep Oscar noms. I'm googling that right now because she has like the amount of nominations is absolutely insane. Like it's like.
It's got to be above 20, no?
21. She's been nominated 21 times. Jeez. The only person who's been nominated more is John Williams, the composer.
Oh, that doesn't count. That's not an actor.
He was nominated. Right. How many do you think John Williams... Like, John Williams, by the way, wrote this, like, composed the scores for, like, Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
So like, he's in the 40s.
Jaws, 52 Oscar nominations.
Oh my God.
This is like when you learned that Cy Young had like 700 career games last episode or complete games. You're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Crosby has 20 point per game seasons, and Meryl Streep has 21 Oscar noms. That's basically the same thing. And this happened last week. The quickest 3-goal comeback in league history. The Canucks scored 3 goals in 1 minute, and then 1 in overtime.
It was against was it the Habs? Dallas. Okay. So
you know what that is? The Undertaker coming out of the coffin.
You know what else this is? I'm not sure if you covered this year's Oscar race or like paid attention to this year's Oscar race at all. But there was a movie called Amelia Perez that came out.
Yes.
I have not seen Amelia Perez, and like I don't think I can stomach it just because it is not due to its subject matter, but due to the fact that it looks horrible. Every clip I've seen, it looks like a parody movie, and yet it got 13 Oscar nominations. But the main actress, Carla Sofia Gascon, was supposed to be the front runner for best actress, and throughout like basically the entire year, ever since this movie came out, she was the front runner. And then someone saw all of her old racist tweets that came up. And it tanked her completely, and Netflix stopped paying for her to go to award shows and flying her out, and they didn't let her talk to the press anymore. And then she organized her own interview on her own, and it didn't make her look. And so, like, I've never seen a more spectacular fumbling of the bag, and that is what the Dallas Stars did in that game.
Yikes.
That's the equivalent of blowing a 3-goal lead with a minute left.
Speaking of the Canucks, Kiefer Sherwood sets the single season hits record total. That's literally just King Kong. Like,
I would say that, like, is there something in Hollywood? You know what that is? That is the new Captain America movie. In that I don't give a shit about it.
Hey, I like it,
and no one does.
Okay, Alexei Protas and Nikolai Ehlers both set the records for Belarusian single season points and Danish points in a season. What is like the most secondary character that's giving secondary character energy?
You ever watch Stranger Things?
Yes.
Remember when everyone was obsessed with Barb from Stranger Things?
It's giving Barb.
It's giving Barb from Stranger Things.
Okay, and then finally, the most goalie goals in a single season with 3. Alex Nedeljkovic, Ilya Sorokin, Philip Gustafsson.
Just trying to think of the most fun I've had at the movies this year. Because that's fun. That's like so entertaining.
And then I have one more non-hockey related one after this.
You know what it is? That was me watching the horror sequel Smile 2. Because I went into that movie thinking, like whatever. And I ended up being blown away by how good that movie was.
See, for me, that's Wicked.
Did you not think Wicked was going to be good?
No, I thought it was, but Wicked to me, because I've seen the Broadway show, I'm like, there's no way the movie could live up to it, right? In the same way that I'm like, there's no way goalies are going to start scoring goals, and then it's like, whoop-bam, they did. And then this last one, it's not hockey related, but it happened this past weekend. Rory McIlroy completes the golf Grand Slam and finally wins the Masters.
Yeah, it's like when Martin Scorsese won the Oscar for Departed. He should have won it a million times before, and he finally, doing what he does best, a mob movie, was able to get on top and complete. Basically, it was the one thing he hadn't won, and he finally won it.
Yeah, and it in the same way that it did this for McIlroy, it put Scorsese on a level with unassailable legends.
It put him on the Mount Rushmore, basically.
Exactly, and Rory, there's only 6 golfers that have completed the Grand Slam, and Tiger Woods. Everybody knows who that is. Jack Nicklaus, probably the greatest golfer of all time. Ben Hogan, Gene Sarazen, and there's Gary Player.
I love a golf player, his last name being Player. Like, that's sick.
Golfer, his last name's
It's like Jim Golf. You know,
Jim Golf. Rory Golf.
Rory Golf won the Masters this year. Good for Rory Golf.
No, but also I'm so fired. Like, that was the most entertaining Masters in terms of like heart rate and like guys in it that I've seen in a really long time, and it was super dope. And also I got to watch with Nick, who is a massive golf guy.
I'm from the beautiful, like my heritage dates back to the beautiful island of Ireland, the Emerald Isles. So I'm glad that my countryman was able to pull that off. However, I don't know much about golf. I'll be honest with you, but I'm glad.
Mike is to golf as I am to movies.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I have a very cursory knowledge of golf, but not in depth
with movies.
Exactly.
All right, shall we do to wrap up the season? Let's do who wins our awards.
Let's do it now. I want to start, Rachel.
Are you gonna go in order?
No, I'm gonna go with the what's it called? Like the awards that not a lot of people really paid too much attention to.
Right.
I want to start with the lady.
I
want to start with the Lady Bing.
Oh, I have my guy.
Who's your guy?
Braden Point.
Really?
Yep. The guy has 40 goals this year, averages like over 20 minutes a game, and has 2 penalty minutes.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Like
2.
It's so funny. Like in researching this, I was looking at the people who had 0 penalty minutes. Like I basically just searched from lowest penalty minutes to and every time I saw someone with a lot of games played, I was like, oh, okay, so I'll take that. It'll be I'll take this guy, and I would look over at his nameplate, and it was a goalie. And so I'm like, oh, damn it. Like every single time, I was looking through him 57 games? No, it's UC Saros. He had 4.
And my backup to Braden Point, hot take because you mentioned it, is Marc-Andre Fleury.
For the Lady Bing.
Yep.
I mean, yes, he's very gentlemanly.
And extraordinarily sportsmanlike. And when we talk about, how we talk about, oh, you want to root for this guy, but you don't know if he's going to do some shady nonsense? Mm-hmm. Marc-Andre Fleury is not going to be doing shady nonsense.
Yeah, that's a good point. Man, it's tough to go with anyone other than that. Like Braden Point, you picked a really good one. But you know who I'm gonna go with? Anze Kopitar.
Oh, that's a good one. Tough matchups all the time.
So the toughest matchups. 18.59 a game. So that's basically almost 20 minutes. Yeah. Second line center. The toughest matchups. 20, and we also have to take into account production here too. Obviously Braden Point is producing like crazy, but Anze Kopitar, 21 goals, 46 assists, 67 points. He's 37 years old. He's the captain of his team. 4 penalty minutes, 80 games played.
All right, so those are the 3 guys.
Remarkable.
For sure.
And also, you know what? Another shout out for this I want to give out to is Matt Barzal. I get it.
Yep.
He only played 30 games this year, but 4 penalty minutes. Over 20, that's pretty good. But Anze Kopitar, in my opinion, either one could be fine. I want to do, and I know that this one is statistics based. You have it's basically you have to their combined stats. But I want to sort of change it up for a second, Rachel, and go philosophical. The Jennings. Because I know it's basically people give it to the 2 goalies who have the lowest goals against average or something.
It's the team with the lowest goals against average.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I want to do best goalie tandem. For Jennings.
It's the Leafs.
I think so.
I legit think it's the Leafs.
I think so. Now I could go. I could go also Hellebuck and Comrie because Hellebuck is a 1A.
It's Hellebuck.
No, but I'm saying it doesn't have to be like a 1A 1B situation. It can be like it could be.
No. I think if we're doing the spirit of tandem, it has to be a
sure, it'll be the Leafs. But last year, for example, I would have given it to Shesterkin and Quick.
Oh my God, yeah.
And because they aren't 1A 1B. There's a clear starter and a clear backup, but they both play their role.
Honestly, in fairness, Dostal and Gibson in Anaheim deserve some serious love.
100%.
I think it kind of has to be the Leafs.
And
that's wild to be saying.
now, I want to preface something before we get into, because now we're like, let's just go to the heavy hitters. I want to preface something before we go into that. So I saw something on Twitter today, and nothing good has ever sort of proceeded.
Tell me ever starts with I saw this on Twitter, especially nowadays.
NHL Network was doing some award predictions. And I don't want to name the person, mainly because I forget who it is.
It's not Mike, is it?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, I will call him right now.
If this was Mike Johnson, like you would have him assassinated. But people
would never do that.
For what I'm about to say. But people were like, they were picking their like their awards. One person for the Calder, like it was two people with their picks like side to side on a graphic.
Okay.
And like one person had a Celebrini for the Calder, another person had another person had Dustin Wolf, like stuff like that, like back and back.
There are two answers for the Calder, and it's Lane Hudson and Dustin Wolf.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
And then we got to the Vezina. One person had Connor Hellebuck, who was my pick, and it's your pick as well.
What do you mean one person had Connor Hellebuck?
I will give you legitimately. I'll give you I will give you 5 guesses to choose who the next person's pick was. Give you 5 guesses.
Would this person, is it possible this person gets nominated?
Rachel, I will give you 5 guesses to pick who the other person's pick to win the Vezina Trophy this year is.
Okay. Logan Thompson.
No.
Anthony Stolarz.
No.
Darcy Kemper?
Yes. It was Darcy Kemper.
What? Okay. Listen, Darcy Kemper probably is going to get nominated along with Logan Thompson. Guys. No.
Blew my mind.
Not even
Blew my mind. There's no there's no.
What are you doing?
This person is so glad I forgot who it was. But that's insane. There's no debate. It's Connor Hellebuck.
That's the only award where it's like you can't even have a discussion.
We there's no
literally can't have a discussion.
There's no first take debate here.
Greg Wyshynski emails me every month for the awards watch. Mm-hmm. And he's like, give me your nominees and whatever, and let me know kind of whatever. I literally put Connor Hellebuck and then in brackets, what are we even doing here? And then a giant gap, and then the rest of my nominees. This is how GMs, because GMs vote on the Vezina, right?
Yeah.
You know how we're all how are they going to screw it up? Genuinely,
you can't.
It should be unanimous. Okay, so Connor Hellebuck is going to win the Vezina. And that is the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Next
we'll go with the Selke.
Okay, I have kind of a hot take here.
What's your hot take?
Sam Reinhart.
Ooh. That is a good one. That is a very good one.
So I'm going Sam Reinhart for the Selke because, yes, I'm aware he plays with Sasha Barkov. But if you look at it, Sam Reinhart is still just as good defensively without Barkov. And when Barkov was injured, Reinhart was the one that picked up the slack. He also has a better 5-on-5 goals against. So he has legit performed better than Barkov this year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think the 4 best defensive players in the NHL this year all play in Florida. Reinhart, Barkov, Cirelli, and Hagel.
Oh. Well, you're going to... my guys doesn't play in Florida, so...
Ooh, okay.
You know who I'm going with?
If you say...
No. I'm not saying...
Okay.
I'm not saying who you think it is. You know who I'm going with?
Okay.
Leon Draisaitl.
Wow.
That's who I'm going with. I think Leon Draisaitl deserves his flowers for this. Connor McDavid missed some time this year. Leon Draisaitl really stepped up, and he's really made a commitment to defense this year. I've noticed it. I've seen it. And obviously, this is not a, like a participation award.
Yeah, correct.
Finally, he's playing defense.
It's also not a legacy award.
It's not a legacy award either. Exactly, yeah. Barkov, by the way, still, I was looking at the odds just now. Barkov still has the highest odds. I think that's just a name recognition. Yeah. And another one, like Leon Draisaitl, and another one I kind of want to sneak in there too, is Seth Jarvis.
Yeah, see, my guy to sneak in would have been Nico Hischier.
Yeah, he's up. Oh, yeah. Especially with Jack Hughes, with Jack Hughes out, Nico Hischier's basically.
And first of all, let's not pretend that Jack Hughes plays defense.
Oh no, but he's been if there was any debate on who was getting the top matchups before, he's getting the top.
Nico.
Exactly.
It's Nico. Yeah, I think the Selke's going to be pretty divided this year, actually. I think we're going to have a legit race this year.
Yeah, I love it.
I like it. Yeah, and you know what? Seth Jarvis is a great shout, too.
I think Seth Jarvis is such a fun and exciting hockey player. I think he is doing such amazing things, and
do you remember that time when I told you that story about the team that had him ranked outside of the top 3 rounds? Oopsie.
Remember when I told you the tale of the team that had the pick that was going to pick him and then traded it to get out of the last year of Patrick Marleau's contract?
Yeah, not great. Not great. Just eat that money and take Seth Jarvis.
Let's get into the heavy hitters, namely the Norris.
Jack Adams.
Oh, you know what? Let's go Jack Adams.
This is a slam dunk too.
Who is it?
I told my brother to bet on Spencer Carberry when Spencer Carberry was plus 2,000 to win the award.
Are you even gonna make any money off that bet? Are you?
No, the deal is my brother's gonna buy me pizza. With
the $5 that he wins for putting $1,000 on that bet, the odds are so.
He put $10 on it, so he's gonna win 200 when Carberry wins.
Hey, good for him, man.
And my ass is getting a nice pizza in New York City.
Hey, better.
So yeah, I mean, what can you even say about the job Spencer Carberry has done? And I think by extension, we need to have a serious conversation for Brian McClellan for GM of the year.
Mm-hmm. I thought Brian McClellan was washed.
And then he acquired Cap Friendly.
Well, he acquired Cap Friendly, and then he acquired Pierre-Luc Dubois. By the way, Dylan Strome, Alexei Protas took that huge step.
Jacob Chikrin.
Yeah, got him signed. Obviously, getting Charlie Lindgren and Logan Thompson together. If we were talking about Stallers and Wall, they're right next to them. The person I want to give a little shout out to here is Jim Montgomery. I think did a great job heading in there. In St. Louis. And Travis Green. I know this is I know this
is. Those are my 3 guys.
Oh, really? Okay.
Those are my 3 guys, and then I have Scott Arniel in 4th.
Oh, Scott Arniel is a good one. I think, and it's a shame this is the way that the award is looked at now, but I think John Cooper should get some serious play. I mean,
totally agree.
Obviously, this was heading into training camp. This was probably the weakest Lightning roster of the era. The decade, of that era of them, obviously losing Steven Stamkos. Yes, obviously losing Steven Stamkos and all that, but just the depth. Obviously, you have Jake Gensel and all that, but the depth really wasn't there from in years past. There's been a lot of injuries going on and all that, and he has guided them basically seamlessly back to, home ice potentially.
They locked up home ice. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they
He's
okay.
Legit.
Yeah.
He's legit.
It's amazing. So we did Jack Adams. Okay. Let's go Norris.
Yeah. It's Cale Makar. But there are a couple of other guys. I mean, Cale Makar, let's be so serious right now. Cale Makar has nearly the same amount of goals as Austin Matthews.
Yeah, this guy's got 30 goals.
Season. But I think 3 guys, obviously Quinn Hughes, but the injuries hurt him, so it is what it is. But there are 2 guys who I think are not getting nearly enough love.
Whomst?
Zach Werenski in Columbus would be up for the Hart if Columbus got in the playoffs.
100%.
And Josh Morrissey.
Yeah.
Josh Morrissey, you can make an argument outside of Cale Makar, is like, I mean, and Quinn, I mean, but we had this conversation about Quinn last year, and we see how legit abhorrent the Canucks are without him. The Winnipeg Jets are not in the same position without Josh Morrissey. Like, he offensively and defensively, he's incredible. And we saw that at the Four Nations. Like, I think a lot of people woke up to just how good Josh Morrissey is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has to be Cale McCarr.
It has to be Cale. If Quinn Hughes was healthy for the whole season,
we'd have a race.
I would give it to him. I think
there'd be conversation for sure.
I think he's the only reason the Canucks were doing anything this year. And they didn't do much, but I don't think they.
I was gonna say they had a lot of off-ice drama.
Yeah, do that, and then obviously, who do you think's gonna win the Rocket? No, obviously, we got to go with the Hart.
We got to talk about the Calder too, but
look, okay, let's talk about the Calder before we talk about the Hart then, because it's basically a 2-horse race here.
Yeah, so up until probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had Dustin Wolf. And the reason I had Dustin Wolf is when you're a rookie in the National Hockey League, the level of difficulty based on position goes winger, then center, then defenseman, then goalie. Mm-hmm. The fact that Dustin Wolf has dragged this corpse of a Calgary roster to anywhere near the playoffs is nothing short of legitimately astonishing. And he is top 10 in goals saved above expected. For a long time, he was top 10 in save percentage. And we're talking about a rookie. Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
It's insane. And then Lane Hudson, since February 1st, I have a piece up on ESPN. Since February 1st, he has had a positive defensive impact. He's also ahead of Quinn Hughes in several offensive categories, and the only player he's behind is Cale Makar. We're not even talking rookies, we're talking defensemen. Mm-hmm. So I look at that and I go, in any other year, Dustin Wolf is the runaway winner with the Calder. And honestly, I still might have him first on my ballot. I'm not sure, but it's just so hard to ignore how special Lane Hudson has been. And there's a decent chance that Montreal has Calder winners in back-to-back years, because Hudson more than likely is going to win this award, and Ivan Demidov is probably going to win next year.
Yeah. I thought they were going to give it, retroactively to Slavkovsky, because everyone loves to hold his hand through stuff. But I think Lane Hudson is going to be one of the great NHL defensemen of this era. He's going to be I look at that guy play and I'm like, that's Cale Makar. It's crazy.
Are you so excited for him and Demidov to be playing against the Leafs for the next 15 years?
Incredible.
Can't wait.
Love it. But if you look at the Calgary roster, they don't do anything well. They don't score. They don't defend. Their power play sucks. Their penalty kill sucks. They they basically don't do anything. Anything. They do everything below league average to below bottom third in the league.
Yeah.
And yet they have a young goaltender in Dustin Wolf, who has dragged them to the precipice of the playoffs. They haven't clinched, and it looks like they might not, but there's still a chance at the time of this recording. That is downright remarkable in your first full season. And
yeah, and like I said, I don't get a vote, so I mean, it is, but if I had the vote that I probably ought to have, it might go to Wolf.
If I had a vote, it would go to Wolf for me. And now,
and I could see the Hudson thing. Let's be very honest. If
Hudson wins, there will be no
play. Yes. I will have no issue with it. This is a true legit race.
Yeah. All right, Rachel. Here we are. The Hart.
My German king, Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah. Yep. That's me too.
Offensively, defensively, he's running away with the Rocket. He's been excellent defensively. Connor McDavid is going to have less than 100 points, I think, for the first time in his career that he's played, like, in the last, where he's played, like, more than a certain amount of games. Having said that, it's, like, hard to call Connor McDavid's season a disappointment because he did score the biggest goal of the year at the Four Nations.
He also has 99 points in 69 games. It's pretty good.
Oh, so he is going to hit 100 points. Oh,
well,
my God.
I think they're probably going to hold him out for the rest of the season. I think that's what they, like, in preparation for the playoffs. So he probably will end at 99.
He's still disgusting. It's hilarious to be like, Connor McDavid had an off year. He had nearly...
Basically 100 points.
Hilarious. So, yeah, we talk about this a lot, but that Oilers roster without McDavid and Draisaitl is horrendous.
We saw it. We saw it when they basically had to play without both of them, and like Adam Henrique
so bad.
Kasperi Kapanen was a third line center, I believe. Like it was brutal.
That's a problem.
So, like, yeah.
All right. So those are our awards.
There it is. It's tough. Like I wish I could give you a more entertaining pick other than agreeing with you on Draisaitl, but there's no real other argument here. Like it basically it has to be him.
Yeah.
So next week we're gonna pick one old guy from each team that we want to win the cup of the playoff teams, and we can get maybe nostalgic and misty-eyed about that. Yeah, I think that's it.
And
Rachel.
Also, how fired up are you that we're getting Dallas, Colorado, and as of the recording of this show, a Battle of Florida and a Battle of Ontario?
Unreal. I cannot. This is gonna be great.
Jacked. For
There's gonna be a lot of it.
And we're getting LA Edmonton for the 4th year in a row. Like those 4 series are going to be insane.
It goes back to the first round of the playoffs always being the best one. Like,
oh my God. Especially this year, we're also getting Montreal, Washington.
Yeah, and Dallas probably playing Colorado. Like, come on.
No, they are playing.
Oh, they're locked in. So Dallas playing Colorado. Like, think about it. You're Dallas, and you grind your way, and then your reward is Colorado. Is Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon
and Gabriel Landeskog. Yeah.
And it's
first of all, how excited.
Incredible.
I have a bone to pick quickly.
Okay.
We talk about LTIR shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
And we opened the show talking about Logan Couture.
We did.
Mike, if there is one player in the entire league that is for 1,000% sure not doing LTIR shenanigans, which player is it?
Probably Gabriel Landeskog. Well, you know what, Rachel?
I saw a Dallas fan be like, "Oh, interesting that he's ready for the playoffs," and someone was like, "He's been out for 3 years, not 3 months." Like,
yeah, I don't know, Rachel.
Magically appear.
I think it's good that I think it's probably pretty good that Colorado decided to play without their captain for the last 3 years for cap circumvention. They held him out.
They circumvented the cap for 3 years.
There's literally a documentary about all he's gone through since then, but no, cap circumvention.
It's fake.
And listen, I will say, there's no Mark Stone documentary.
Interesting. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, okay. There are conversations I'm willing to have about LTIR cap circumvention. Gabriel Landeskog is not one of them.
Mm-mm. He's not in there.
I saw that guy. So his wife is from Aurora, which is near where I'm from, and we frequent the same restaurant. Over the last 3 years, I have seen Gabe. Let me tell you something. That man was walking with a limp until, last summer. He was walking, so never mind skating or anything else. That man couldn't walk properly for 2 years, and we're talking about cap circumvention?
Nah.
This is, if he's ready for game 1, I hope he plays. He gets a free pass on cap circumvention, because that was nobody voluntarily misses 3 years of hockey.
Of their prime, no. But you know what else we're talking about? You know what else we're talking about, Rachel?
Mike Myers loving Jumpstart?
Yeah, we're talking about Jumpstart, our charity of choice. It's the charity. It's also Mike Myers' charity of choice. I think you should definitely do that, but it helps economically disadvantaged kids play team sports, which is a cause that is near and dear to Rachel and I's heart. Mike Myers loves Jumpstart. You should too. And on that note, we will bid you adieu for this week. Rachel, do you have anything to leave our lovely, lovely listeners with before we head out?
Go Leafs, go, baby.
Go Leafs, go. And also, if you're from Ottawa, you're a loser.